Hey guys, Suarez here. First off, thank you so much for 318 subscribers. It really means the world to me, and I will continue to make more wholesome content for you all. And just like I promised, the winner of the last video is getting its own video review. Yes, Super Monkey Ball is celebrating its 20th anniversary with the release of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This little package is amazing. It comes with a game, collective sleeve, downloadable content, reversible cover. Interesting. And a 40-page art book that details the history of the franchise and the evolution of the characters. And I know what some of you guys might be saying. Wow, Suarez Digital, I didn't know you were a Super Monkey Ball fan. Well, not exactly. I've actually never played a Super Monkey Ball game in my entire life. Well, I bought it because of the funny monkey. In the year 2001, the first Super Monkey Ball game was released in North America on the Nintendo GameCube, and it was highly praised for its fun and inventive gameplay mechanics. The franchise spawned many games for various consoles up until the year 2012, where it then took a 9-year hiatus, later broken by Banana Blitz HD, released in 2019. So many people were mad that Sega chose to remake the mixed-reviewed Wii version instead of the more highly acclaimed GameCube titles. So what happened next? Long story short, the franchise's future and revival depended on how well Banana Blitz HD would sell, and if fans wanted a new Monkey Ball, then this one had to succeed. And 2 years later, we can see that the fans' efforts were handsomely rewarded with the release of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. The reviews are out and the game has been celebrated as a return to form for many fans. There are minor differences, but it's close enough to provide a rush of familiarity and nostalgia. However, I can't speak for many because I recently got into this franchise as of last month, and because of that, I really don't have a reference point to compare it from. Yeah, you're probably right, Miku. I am probably just a fake fan who chose to play this video game 20 years after its initial release, way into my adult years. However, because I am an adult, I have adult money. And the fact that I am an adult with adult money means that no one can stop me from buying all the past Super Monkey Ball games. And by doing so, hopefully I will be accepted into the Super Monkey Ball fandom. But there are so many Super Monkey Ball games and I really don't know where to start. Fortunately, we do have a retro store in town. With that said, I went there and bought all the Monkey Ball games they had. Ta-da! We have Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage, Super Monkey Ball Jr., Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll, and Super Monkey Ball Adventure. Now, before I start playing Banana Mania, I really want to play all the old games to see what the hype is all about. Even though I've never played any of these games, I am familiar with the series. The first time I encountered it was back in 2002 through these interesting commercials advertising the release of Super Monkey Ball 2. It stuck out for me for 2 reasons. First, it had Sega on it, the same creators of my favorite franchise, Sonic the Hedgehog. Anything made by Sega was sacred to me. And second, the commercials showed adults talking, but instead of regular adult voices, they all had kid voices like mine. It didn't show kids playing or enjoying this game, just adults. The juxtaposition was so weird. Who was the audience for this game? Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Who was this game made for? But why talk about it when you could see it for yourself?
Ready for everyone. Spin, you little monkey, spin! Wow! Whoa! It's like a party, but it's better than a party. The monkey falls and keeps going and going. I go real fast. Vroom! I go real fast. Vroom! Falling. Just blasted off. Super duper. Super Monkey Ball 2.
Visually, I could see that there were monkeys and balls, monkeys playing sports like bowling, baseball, soccer, tennis, and monkey paragliding. From the voiceover, we were told that the monkeys spin, go real fast, fall, blast off, and that this game was like a party, but better than a party. I'm sure there's some deeper meaning behind all of that, but as of now, I can't put my finger on it. But anyways, so far these games are great. And while it's no Sonic Adventure, I do love how Super Monkey Ball Adventure gives you a semi-open world you can explore with a bunch of characters you can interact with. And while it might be dated by today's standards, Super Monkey Ball Jr. really showed what the Game Boy Advance is capable of, and it's a really fun way to play Monkey Ball on the go. Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll has so many fun mini games you can play with your friends. And Super Monkey Ball in the N-Gage is actually really garbage. But hey, it has one of the best covers. Look at their faces. And finally, we have Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, which is actually a really fun game and it uses a unique jump mechanic that adds an extra layer of depth and gameplay. Overall, these games were absolutely amazing, and I had a great time playing them on my own and with friends and family. But I'm not gonna lie, something about this series just kinda makes me sad. Don't know what it is though. All I knew is that this game was made by Sega, and because of that, I had to play it. Unfortunately, it was released at an awkward time because at this time in my life, I was introduced to so many new games and consoles that I really wanted. In addition to Super Monkey Ball, I was also interested in buying consoles like the Game Boy Advance, GameCube, and PlayStation 2. And as for games, there were so many Sonic and Pokemon games that I needed to catch up on, as well as the now iconic Kingdom Hearts that released 5 months prior to Super Monkey Ball 2. What also didn't help Super Monkey Ball is the fact that none of my friends ever owned or even heard of this game at all. And in contrast, everyone played Kingdom Hearts, and they all told me that I should save up my money to play this amazing game instead of the silly little monkey game. And I know what you all might be thinking. Suarez Digital, why didn't you pick the Monkey Ball game? Are you a hater? Well, you see, even though I wanted to play them, I always couldn't because we didn't have a lot of money growing up. And a testament of this was the fact that we only had a Sega Genesis and a Master System up until the year 2001. Yeah, those were the only consoles we owned, and we had to make it work. When I did have money, there were so many things to choose from that sadly overshadowed my interest in Super Monkey Ball 2. Every friend that had a PlayStation 2 also had Kingdom Hearts, and I would remember all the fond memories we would have playing that game over and over. My friends also had Sonic Adventure 2, the most epic Sonic game of all time. It had an insanely fun multiplayer system and a Chow Garden mechanic that we would lose countless hours on. For us, these games were iconic and had a ton of replay value that just kept us busy. And with the portable consoles, we had Pokemon and Sonic games that we would repeatedly play over and over as well. And since we would have a blast playing all of these games, I was certain that I wanted to own them for myself. The day came where I finally scraped enough money to buy myself a Nintendo GameCube and one game. It was here that I had to make tough choices. Did I want to go with Sonic Adventure 2, the game with my all-time favorite character, the game that had one of the most epic storylines, the game with the entertaining Chow Garden system, the game that I knew I would have an amazing time with, or the game with the funny monkey that I knew nothing about? Or Super Monkey Ball never had a chance. Sadly, I went with Sonic because it was a safer option, and this cycle would continue throughout the years. Monkey or Pokemon? Pokemon. Sonic or Monkey? Sonic. Kingdom Hearts or Monkey? Kingdom Hearts. Shadow the Hedgehog or Monkey? Shadow the Hedgehog. And I don't blame myself. I knew that I would enjoy these games based on my history with them, and at the time I didn't want to take the risk of buying a new game and possibly hating it. I guess maybe I was afraid that Super Monkey Ball would not live up to the hype, and ultimately, I didn't know anyone else that owned it, as most of my friends started moving away from games with cute mascot characters, platformers, RPGs, and started transitioning into first-person shooters because those were considered big kid games. Come to think of it, why were little kids playing games rated M for mature? I'm an adult and even I don't play those games. Why was everyone in such a rush to grow up? Growing up sucks! Now I'm out here paying taxes and medical bills that I can't even afford. And if there are any kids watching this, enjoy the time you have right now. Anyhow, all this to say that I missed out on Super Monkey Ball for the Nintendo GameCube. Despite this, the game's main character, Ai, would still pop into my life from time to time. I always saw the monkeys on the Sega website, and the game's protagonist Ai would also make cameos in Sonic Riders and Sega Superstar Tennis. Ai was always my favorite character to play. Equip him with a slider, and he becomes overpowered. Plus, he looks really cool when he activates his special, which is his iconic Monkey Ball. In Superstar Tennis, they all pretty much play the same, except for these fancy specials they get throughout the game. And I will admit, I like playing Ai more than I did Sonic. He is the definition of peak character design, and I always had a fondness for his deadpan stare and the sound effects he would make. And later on, we did buy a Wii that the entire family enjoyed playing. And yes, there were also 2 Monkey Ball games that were released on the Wii that I also didn't buy at the time. During this time, I entered high school and began focusing on honors classes, sports, and working more at my parents' small business. And little by little, I stopped having time to play video games. And anytime I would play with friends, we mostly just played fighting games. And year after year, my interest in Monkey Ball began to fade even more. The final nail in the coffin occurred many years later. While I was away for my first year of college, my parents' house was burglarized, and many things were stolen, including a huge portion of our video game collection. And this event alone was enough to end my fascination with video games. And through all this tragedy, there is a happy ending as I finally picked up this masterpiece of a game. Granted, it is 20 years late, but nevertheless, it's here. Fast forward to 2019. I had a stable job, free time, and I was nearing my final year in college. I didn't have any friends I could spend time with. I lived alone for a couple months, and I was constantly lonely and alone. So the hole in my heart actually became a hole in my wallet instead. During this time, GameStop had a promotion where you buy 4 games for $10. I took advantage of that and bought a handful of random games. One of those games was Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. However, I didn't play it because the first initial games I focused on were RPGs like Fire Emblem, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Rune Factory 4 to name a few. Now we have finally arrived to the present day. However, while I did have a lot of games, I completely forgot about Super Monkey Ball. That is, until my roommate and I started talking about games that featured monkeys. And that's when the topic of Super Monkey Ball came up. And we both realized that we never actually played this game despite hearing so much about it. And with that said, she places the order. And while we're waiting, I go over to GameStop to buy Banana Blitz for only $13. What a steal. I absolutely love this game, and it's a phenomenal game to play until the arrival of Banana Mania. And to further fill this void before the big release, I began searching for Monkey Ball media to consume. I have to say that Monkey Ball social media is by far one of the best pages out there. They have Cooking with Ai, where this adorably derpy looking puppet Ai makes some incredibly delicious banana based recipes. Everyone, look at Puppet Ai. I love him so much. See that puppet Miku? I want 20 of those. The social media and advertising campaigns are wholesomely aggressive. In addition to Cooking with Ai, mini comics, and high quality memes, they have some incredible reveal trailers for the guest characters appearing in this game. Lastly, they have retrospective videos and celebrations highlighting past Monkey Ball games, all which convinced me to go back and buy them all. And I had so much fun playing these games that I can't wait to go online and talk to other Monkey Ball fans to express my love for these specific games. Well, according to everyone else, the games that I played are absolutely garbage. Many are saying that these games are the worst in the franchise, and anyone who says otherwise should have their opinion revoked. From a newcomer's perspective, these games are pretty good, and I was confused on why people were hating on them. Sure, the difficulty may vary from game to game, but for the most part, there aren't any bugs or glitches, or even mechanics that make the game unbearable. Upon reading these reviews and seeing all the video essays on them, it became clear why people hate them. The most common and main criticisms were the mechanics. While similar, people have said that they feel vastly different when comparing those to Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2. I felt this was unfair, as this was a common thing I saw when people kept comparing the newer games to the old ones. And I didn't feel that they were fairly judging these games based on what they had to offer. As a video game fan, I can see how changing mechanics from game to game could be frustrating. However, I don't think it should be a reason to think negatively about them. Final Fantasy VII Remake did the same exact thing, where the new game introduced completely new mechanics that were entirely different from the old one it was based off of. Sometimes, time requires that we change. I personally really love all these games, from Banana Mania all the way to the much hated Monkey Ball Jr. Yes, they're all different from each other, but I think that's what makes them really fun. I personally really like all the small gimmicks and details that each game has to offer. Right out of the box, these games are functional and play as intended. And I might be old, but I really love how the initial learning curve is easy for anyone to understand. After 20 years, I think it's finally time for me to start playing the game that has evaded me for so long. To finally see it for myself, I'm finally playing Super Monkey Ball 2, and hopefully by playing it, I will finally understand why everyone considers Super Monkey Ball 2 to be the holy grail of Monkey Ball games. Well, with that said, what do I finally think about this game? Well, people are right. This game is perfect. Don't get me wrong, I still love all the other ones, but this one really hits everything right. The controls are precise, the level design is top notch and beautifully made. The minigames are especially fun and have had a lot of thought put into them. So much that I believe they could stand alone without the main game. It definitely feels like the prime game that all the other games stem from, and it makes sense why everyone considers this to be patient zero of Super Monkey Ball games. Yes, I am convinced. This is peak Monkey Ball, and even after playing this game, I still don't believe that the other games are as bad as everyone else makes them out to be. They also have so much to offer and have been very fun. Now with those out of the way, let me talk about Banana Mania. I feel that this game takes the fun out of all the previous games and bundles them all in one neat and fun little package. The mini-games are close replications with minor gameplay differences. The character models have been updated to reflect the modern eras, and in many ways it has many improvements over the original games. Sadly, I do feel bad because this game's release went quite unnoticed for many reasons. First off, it was released the same exact day Sora was announced for Smash, and only a couple days before the highly anticipated Metroid Dread and Far Cry 6. It doesn't help that there's a good part of the fanbase that seems to absolutely despise this game, claiming that it's a lazy revival and a disgrace to the original duo it's supposed to represent. When I tried chiming in my own opinions, they would dismiss me, claiming that I didn't understand. Only those who were there from the beginning could relate to this. They reminisced upon the hours they spent playing this game with their friends and family, and they claimed that my simple 2 months into the fandom was invalid. And I did mention at the beginning that something about these games makes me feel sad. And it only happened after I finished playing each session. Maybe it's the fact that I rushed through these games and I didn't get to enjoy them like everyone else did growing up. Maybe I subconsciously realized that playing these games for 2 months will never make up for the 20 years that I didn't play these games. Or maybe I really don't enjoy these games and it's just my way of coping for missing out for the last 20 years. All I know is, every time I consume Monkey Ball, I just get sadder and sadder. Looking through various YouTube videos, I was finally brought back to where it all began, the GameCube TV commercial. Then I decided to read the comments and see what other people were saying, and there was one comment that stood out to me that finally made me realize what was going on with me. I think the initial theme of this commercial is the concept of an inner child. The adults in this ad are 20 to 80 years old, but inside, their inner child loves the game. Sad Lobster 1. When I first encountered this commercial, this game, I was a child. At one point in life, I was as old as the children you heard. And now 20 years later, I'm as old as some of the adults you see. It took me 20 years to finally play this game. And I didn't think about it too much, but that time was enough for me to grow up like the adults you see on screen. Time moved on. I am older and so much time has passed where I didn't play this game. I could have bought this game at any time, but I didn't. And because of that, I didn't grow up playing this game like many others did. I will never spend hours of my childhood summers staying up to beat this game. I will never know the joy of playing the mini games with my friends as a childhood pastime. I will never know what it's like to wait for these games to come out year after year, console after console. And because of that, my opinions will never be valid like those who grew up with this series. So in the end, is it even right for me to consider myself a fan when I didn't grow up playing these games? And I know what a lot of people are saying. Suarez Digital, you will never be a real fan because you weren't there at the franchise's initial success. You will never have childhood memories like the rest of us. You didn't endure through all the bad games. You weren't there in 2019 to help buy copies of Banana Blitz HD when the franchise was being held hostage. And you weren't there for the franchise's dark ages. You are just a bandwagoner who showed up and bought the game for $13 in a bargain bin. This franchise will never mean to you what it means to us. And I only say this because, this was expressed to me a lot of times. But even after all that, allow me to explain to you why this game means so much to me. Yes, I know it was my own decisions that made me miss out on this, but trying to gatekeep this game, I feel defeats the purpose of what it means to be a Super Monkey Ball fan. As a fan right now, I enjoy what each game has to offer. Maybe some of these games aren't one-to-one copies of Super Monkey Ball 2, but I think that's the whole point. The technology and franchise around these games has evolved so much over the last 20 years. There have been so many changes with the game's core mechanics, some good and some bad. And evolving with the times is not a bad thing. A lot of people claim that social media is the death of us, but Super Monkey Ball has one of the best pages and content out there. This is the first series that I've collected all the games for, and this is the first series that I actively went out to collect merchandise from. And this is the first gaming community that I've been somewhat an active fan of. Even though I am late to playing these games, I have really enjoyed every bit of them. The entire aspect of this series has been so much fun, and has quickly become one of my favorite series of all time. And when I can, this is the first game that I always try to get all of my friends to play. And because school is no longer a thing for me, I can't spend my summers playing these games with friends. But I can spend time playing these games with my friends every other hour. And in those short hours, we do make so many fun and beautiful memories playing these games. Finally, we bring it back to the commercial with Sad Lobster 1's message, the concept of the commercial that really encapsulates the essence of Super Monkey Ball. Many of us, we are now the adults we see on screen, and no matter what, that will never change. There is no time machine to make up for lost time, and there is no way to return to those carefree youthful days. But just like these adults, whenever I play any of the Super Monkey Ball games, my inner child comes out because deep down, my inner child will always love these games. And even if I ended up playing these games at age 50, 60, or even 90 years old, I am certain that they would have had the same effect. I believe that it's never too late to be a Monkey Ball fan, and there's no right or wrong time to begin. Super Monkey Ball 2 might be the blueprint of what an ideal monkey game should be, but you don't need to start there. In an era where the GameCube is long gone, Bananamania has now become one of the best ways to get new fans like myself interested into the series. We shouldn't be dismissing people who are unable to play the original games or any other title as their definitive way to play Monkey Ball. We should be excited that there are Monkey Ball games out there that are making people excited like we were 20 years ago. And little by little, there are many fans expressing their loves for many of the once hated games. And as for myself, Playing any Monkey Ball game feels like reconnecting with an old friend. They feel familiar and at home. The characters are timeless. The gameplay is welcoming and easy to understand. In the end, one of the things I have learned is that time will always move on, with or without you. And just like we all changed in the last 20 years, I can see that future games will be filled with so many more changes to fit the technology of that time. And that's not a bad thing. That's just how time works. Even if we want things to stay the same, nothing is guaranteed. And it won't all be that bad. History may smile on the once hated games of today. Character designs may change again. And as much as I want to stay invested in this franchise and video games altogether, I could potentially lose interest in them, just like I did in the past. But even if I lose interest in this series, I know that whenever I come back to play these games, both new and old, my inner child and outward adult will always love Super Monkey Ball. Miku, this experience has taught me so much. Time unfortunately doesn't wait for anyone, and because of that, we need to appreciate the time and moments that we do have now, because we will never get this time back. And even if you do feel like you missed out, it's never too late to go back and reconnect, whether it's games, people, friends, family members, and so forth, because if you don't, then you will always miss out. So from here on out, I aim to make every moment count. Yeah, I think I can do it. I will live my life to the fullest because I feel like I can make content on just about anything. So from here on out, goodbye dry spells and hello to so much amazing new content. Miku, I have no idea what we're gonna do our next video on.